Good afternoon, everyone. May I request everyone to settle down? I would request Shilpa Raju, our treasurer, to please come and introduce Mr. Srikanth Bolla.
Good evening, everyone. Adversity alone has the unique power to inspire exceptional clarity, purge any vestiges of lethargy, refocus your priorities, and hone your character, and unleash the most potent forces. It's an honor for me to introduce Mana Hyderabadi, Mr. Srikanth Bolla, an industrialist who has made the city proud over and over again. His determination in the face of physical adversity, his belief in himself, his fearlessness in standing up for his rights have all shaped him into an epitome of independence and self-reliance. Graduating from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where he was the first international visually impaired student to study on full scholarship, he returned to India to establish Bollant Industries, which manufactures areca-based products and provides employment to several hundreds of people with disabilities. He started a braille printing press in Samanvai Centre for children with multiple disabilities, which provides accessible educational material to disabled students. He is also a contributor to the Surge Impact Foundation. In April 2017, Mr. Bolla was named by Forbes magazine in its list of 30 under 30 all across Asia. Only one of 3 people in India to be named so. Thank you, Mr. Srikanth, for joining us here today at FLO Hyderabad. I request our chairperson, Ms. Priya Gazdar, and Mr. Srikanth Bolla to come on the dais.
Chairperson Ms. Priya Gazdar would now felicitate Mr. Srikanth Bolla.
So Srikanth Bolla garu has had to decide to leave a little early today. So we are starting also, I think, about 10-15 minutes prior to our schedule, which just generally does not happen. But we are here and we are very glad that he's been able to make it. And thank you so much, Srikanth garu, for accommodating our request. Srikanth garu, you famously declared once that my parents are the richest people I know. Can you tell us why?
See, thank you so much. Good evening, ladies, and of course, few gentlemen over here. Thank you so much for coming here. And thank you for inviting me. You see, in my life, I always believe, and I learned my first lesson from my parents, that compassion is actually what makes you as a person richer. So compassion means, you may think, opening your car window and giving a 10-rupee note at a junction to a beggar is compassion. Of course not. It is just removing your guilt and making them more lazier and damaging the country more. If you can, in turn, give a meaningful opportunity for someone to live with dignity and with financial status, that is what makes you as person compassionate and makes them rich. Therefore, it is the compassion that makes the communities richer and not all the wealth in this world. In fact, the wealth makes you vulnerable, and it tells you and it makes you so secluded from the outside world that at the end, what you have achieved makes no sense. Therefore, a person needs to be compassionate and do something meaningful for the communities so that the happiness would prevail all over the place. This is actually what happened when I was born to my parents as a blind individual. Even though the entire community was against taking up me as their own child, they were advised to get rid of me and whatnot. But my parents stood firm against all these ignorant comments and said, look, this is the gift from the God. We will accept him as he is and give him all that we could in spite of our odds. And my parents have done the same thing. And they have given me everything in spite of their financial difficulties. And I'm so, therefore, from a very young age, I've been determined to be very grateful and determined not to be a financial burden on them. This is what made me today, a composed individual who is rich at heart just because of my parents. This is where I have learned my first lesson, my dear friends. And you also should do the same thing. And if you try to do something for someone, you would be the first beneficiary. Please remember.
So well said, sir. If you try to do something for someone, you'll be the first beneficiary. That is so, so real. And we all have seen that in FLO, how much giving gives us satisfaction. Srikanth, we are all very curious to know your connection with Ratan Tata and APJ Abdul Kalam, luminaries like that, and your learnings from these invaluable associations.
See, when I met Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam ji, who is one of my best role models, it was my dream come true. And I thought the world has stopped. But the world functioned after that second. So in life, whatever we achieve, we feel that's it, we have done it. But next minute, there is something new waiting for us to be conquered. So the life is so, it's a humble journey in which we have to climb various steps. But we take inspiration from various people in doing so. And such inspiration, I derive it from my own role model. And I have learned from him that dream is that you see not only in the sleep, but it is something that doesn't let you sleep. Because if I have some work that is pending, I will spend sleepless nights. And I will never get sleep until the problem is addressed. And I become so impatient. And I disturb my friends and family and all the people who are involved in that project or the work. When are we getting it done? That is what I have learned. And if I work hard, dream big, work hard, and conspire to make the whole universe help me succeed, that is the secret in life. So I simply tell you, God gives us starting circumstances, but we make our own destiny with enough randomness to make things interesting and less predictable. This is because all of us have equal talents, but we have to write our own destiny. This is what I have learned from him, and I hope you too.
So true. The way we can destine ourselves with some support from visionaries like that, and you have really done a fantastic job of that. Looking at the scope of your achievements and the broad challenges you have tackled, is there a particular moment or decision you would consider your bravest or most pivotal in your life?
I think every day is a pivotal in my life, because I think every day I start with fresh goals and fresh strategies. So you see, I view challenges as set of solutions, because without a challenge, there's nothing you can achieve. The more I fail, the become I give my best. Without failures, you will not be able to achieve anything. Appreciate success, because it is from your own failures you will learn how to do it better. For a scientist, for a businessman, this is a very important mantra of success. If we don't fail, we don't know the outside world, and we cannot achieve our best in life. That is why I love failures. I am one of the lucky ones, actually. The exposures I gained in my life and the hardship I face in my life had taught me so much that they have become an addiction for me. Hardship is an addiction for me. Therefore, I never see it as a hardship now, but it is a challenge waiting for me to be conquered. Without hardships, we cannot dream big and work hard. Therefore, hardships are very important in life. And I can understand you want to face hardships. How do you face it? You set up a higher goal than what you can reach. That's when you will face hardship, and you'll be able to achieve better heights in life. You see, I tell you, one cannot create something by sitting in the lap of luxury. In fact, our brains are hardwired to produce our best efforts only when we face hardship. And this is the secret in life. The ground level is always filled with no-sayers, but as you go higher, you will meet people who thinks anything is possible. And that is how I go in my life. If someone says no to me, I would climb over their head and proceed to the next level. This is the secret in life.
Sir, can you list 3 life lessons you learned from your journey so far?
As I have already discussed, compassion is what makes you rich and not all the money in this world. And I'm lucky to be the richest man because I have lucky parents. Number 2, loneliness is actually the poverty. Not having lunch box to eat, or not having money to spend, or not having money to buy Mercedes or an iPhone. It is the loneliness that makes you poor. When I was attending a rural school in my village, nobody would wanted to play with me, nobody sat with me. So I sat in the last bench, wallowing in my loneliness. That was the time I felt I am the poorest child in this world, but not that I don't have lunch box to eat, because I was made poor by the perceptions of the people. I was made lonely by the stigma of the people around me that surrounded. Therefore, I have decided to myself at that point of time, I am going to fight against this loneliness of poverty and make happy and give happiness to people so that I can build inclusive communities going forward. And that is what I have surrendered myself to and taken a pledge. And over the last 10 years, I have been doing so. And I have to run miles together before I reach my destination. The third lesson is, if you try to do something better for people, you would be the first beneficiary. When I started my company, I was the first employee in the company. Therefore, I made my first bread. So I was the first beneficiary. That is how we all would become. Thank you so much for having me today.
Can I ask you one more question, or I can? Thank you so much. So you quoted Robert Frost, I think, which is a famous of most of us here. Despite facing so many hurdles during your academic career in India itself, where you even had to fight with the government, what made you come back to India and establish Bollant Industries, Samanvai, and now the Surge Impact Foundation?
You see, if you basically look at how politicians spend time in the US, they are busy debating whether our planet is 4 billion year old or 7,000 year old, or what point of photos becomes a human being. I mean, these are luxurious issues which nice to debate on such issues. But here, back in this part of the world, we are worrying about so many problems. How to provide skills for 90+% of Indians who are self-employed or in low-end jobs. How to stop poorest of the poor peoples having their meager subsidy money stolen by the politicians. Or how to stop people from using roadside as a toilet. We have big problems to solve, and it is my generation that needs to solve them. And that is why I chose to be in India and work for my motherland, which has given me life, and in return to give something to this Mother Earth. That to protecting Mother Earth and her environment is the most important pledge that we at Bollant have taken. We have damaged our environment to the core, that we are facing so many issues around us. So in our own generation, in our own bid to protect this, in our own endeavor to protect a piece of our environment, we have decided to engage ourselves in a sustainable products made out of waste. We make top-class products from waste by using people who are at the margins of the society. When they join Bollant, they thrive, and the company thrives too, and the whole country thrives. We do it the most important way, meeting all our obligations in full, following all our ethics, protecting the environment, recycle 100% of all the resources into usable products. So I enjoy working here because I belong here.
Thank you so much. And really, once again, thank you for literally allowing us to kidnap you.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you so much.
From your, the schedule that came up, and what can I say? I can only say thank you so much for being here with us.
No, I think thank you so much. It has been a great privilege interacting with you all, especially the women's centric organizations, because I truly admire women, because without women can do miracles to men. And that's exactly what happened in my life too. My own mentors were mostly women, and my life partner who has given me life is also a woman. And the women can ignite men to protect this entire world from any uncertainties. And a woman is a symbol of love, responsibility, and freedom with freedom and wisdom. So I truly admire what you have been doing, and it's the women's generation that is going to prevail in the next 10 years, and it's the women who is going to give path to this world to move ourselves from a unvalues-driven system to a values-driven system. Thank you so much again for having me. See you all.
Wow. I think we need a standing ovation for that.
No, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bolla, for such an inspiring session. It's only when we hear from the lives of such inspiring people that we learn how little hardship that we face. May I request the past chairs from FLO and YFLO to please come up for a picture? Could I request the core committee to please come up for a picture with the speaker? एक picture. Before we commence, may I kindly request everyone to switch their phones to silent mode. May I also request members of the audience to not take any selfies with our guest speaker at any point and to remain seated till the vote of thanks. Imagine yourself standing on the edge of a vast canyon. The wind whips through your hair, and the view stretches out before you, endless and breathtaking. That's the feeling I have today, standing here with all of you, on the precipice of incredible possibility, to learn from the lives of those who have strived to achieve what few could dream of in their circumstances. Namaste. On behalf of our chairperson, Priya Gazdar, and her committee, I, Rashi Agarwal, Honorary Joint Secretary of FLO Hyderabad, extend a warm welcome to our inspirational guest, Mr. Rajkummar Rao, our distinguished past chairs, and fellow FLO members. May I now request everyone to please rise for the national anthem. I kindly request photographers to not take any pictures during the same.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
I request YFLO Chairperson Riddhi Jain, our distinguished speaker, and FLO past chairs, Ms. Usha Rani Mane, Ms. Shubhra Maheshwari, Ms. Vani Subhash, Ms. Sona Chatwani, Ms. Kamini Saraf, Ms. Ritu Shah, Ms. Hina Srivastav, and YFLO past chair, Ms. Sonali Modi Saraf, to please come forward for the lamp lighting. As we light this lamp, May this session ignite a spark within each of us, reminding us that no dream is too big and no obstacle too daunting when fueled by unwavering determination and belief in oneself. I request FLO and YFLO past chairs to please stay on for a picture with the speaker. I request the FLO Core Committee, followed by the Executive Committee, to please join for a picture. Chairperson Ms. Priya Gazdar will now deliver her welcome address.
Namaste to our special guest, Mr. Rajkummar Rao, past chairpersons, FLO and YFLO Hyderabad, special invitees, the change makers, and my dear FLO members. A man once took up the job of painting a boat. While he was at it, he noticed a small hole in the hull and quietly repaired it. Once done, he received his wage and left. The next day, the owner of the boat came up to him and gave him a much bigger check. When the painter asked him why, the owner said it was for repairing the hole. The painter insisted it was just a very small thing. The owner said, "When I asked you to paint the boat, I forgot to mention the hole. And then my kids took the boat on a fishing trip. I remembered about the hole much later and was desperate. Imagine my relief, my joy, when I saw them return safely. When I examined the boat, I found that you had repaired the hole. You saved the life of my children. I do not have enough money to pay you for the deed you call small. So, no matter who, when, how, or how much, if we continue to help, to wipe tears, to listen attentively, and carefully repair the leaks we find in our lives or in that of others, we would be a formidable force that can sustain and support. And at FLO, we are all in that position to support each other, to support those less privileged than us, to support the larger cause of an equal and equitable world. And I feel we are all extremely privileged to be in that position. Something that was demonstrated amply through the month of April. We started the year with Stellar Journeys, a talk featuring India's luminaries in space exploration, Dr. Tessie Thomas of DRDO and Kalpana Kalahasti of ISRO. They taught us the power of resilience, innovation, and humility. Our first social impact program was a session on stress-free exam preparation for 96 ninth grade girl students of Mehboobiya Government Girls High School. The orientation for Mindshare, our creative narrative platform, was attended by close to 100 members, most of whom have sent in their essays as the first step on the journey of self-discovery and public speaking. Thank you for the great response. You will all hear from us very soon. Our visit to Azad Engineering was an enriching experience. 42 of our members got to experience from up close the meticulous attention to detail, the innovative practices, and the cutting-edge technology employed in this unique manufacturing hub that produces highly engineered components for the aerospace, defense, energy, oil and gas sectors. Data privacy has emerged as a significant challenge in today's digital age, where vast amounts of personal information are constantly collected, stored, and shared. Our virtual session, How Safe is Your Data, by Tattva Legal, started with a keynote address by Special Chief Secretary, ITENC, INC Departments, Mr. Jayesh Ranjan. We have just 20 stalls left in our mammoth 212 stall style Tattva. Do call our team if you or any of your friends and family would like to be part of this annual FLO exhibition with pan-India participation. Upcoming in May, the FLO Visual Expression Workshop on crafting your personal brand. FLO's Angel Investing Masterclass by Silver Needle Ventures on May 16th. This is a limited number workshop, so please register quickly. Global Alliances Strengthening Economic Bridges, a conversation on bilateral trade with representatives of US, UK, and Australia. Their trade desks will also be open for interaction after the talk. So all those looking for export-import collaborations, please make it a point to be there. It's on the 23rd. It's renewal time, dear members, so please make sure to pay your annual fee ASAP so that you can continue to enjoy all that we curate for you without any interruption. Over the next few months, we will be fully transitioning to the FLO app, so please download it on your mobiles and get access to FLO News at a click. I urge all members to make use of the FLO Hyderabad marketplace platform to advertise your brand of products and services to a niche audience. FLO Business League is another way to pitch your business to our members, where you get to address the audience directly. We have one coming up on May 23rd, so do reach out to the team ASAP to book your slot. The committee and I would like to thank the mentors for the year for their unstinted support and guidance. For all those who did not attend our first event, I think you've already watched the abridged version of our blueprint for the year, so I will not run it again. Through our first round of membership interviews held on 3rd April, we have an intake of 50 plus new members, all of whom have something to offer to our mission of power to empower. The second round of interviews are scheduled for the 8th of May. Do encourage friends and family you think are a good fit with FLO to apply for membership. Before I conclude, I must thank our illustrious guest, Mr. Rajkummar Rao, the inimitable actor who has stormed the bastion of Hindi films with his power-packed performance graph. Thank you so much, Rajkummar, for joining us here this evening. Ladies, the Connect magazine for year 2023-24 is on the stands now. Please pick up your copy from the FLO office staff when you are leaving the venue. And now, over to Joint Secretary Rashi to take the session forward. Thank you.
May I request Mr. Rajkummar Rao to please join Chairperson Priya Gazdar on the dais and Ms. Priya to felicitate him. Hollywood luminary Audrey Hepburn once said, "I believe in being strong when everything seems to be going wrong." A quote that resounds perfectly with the journey of Rajkummar Rao, an actor who charmed his way into Bollywood and the hearts of millions of Indians across the world. Hailing from Gurgaon, Rajkummar Rao graduated from the prestigious Film and Television Institute of India. His early years in Mumbai were spent juggling small roles and auditions, hustling hard to get his foot inside Bollywood's tightly shut door. Despite all the uphills, his diligence bore fruit in 2013 with the critically acclaimed film Shaheed, which earned him a National Film Award for Best Actor. And then there was no looking back. Amongst the many awards and recognitions since then, are Forbes India featuring him in their 30 under 30 list of 2014, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals listing him as India's hottest vegetarian, appearing on Forbes India Celebrity 100 list, and GQ magazine's list of 50 most influential young Indians. His mantelpiece is adorned by 4 Filmfare Awards, 2 Screen Awards, and 2 Zee Cine Awards. Today, Rajkummar is hailed as one of the most versatile actors in Bollywood. Yet, his transformative journey continues with each film, each role. We can't wait to hear your story, sir. I'll hand over to Ms. Priya to take the session forward.
So we just stand corrected. It is 5 national awards now.
5 Filmfare
5
Awards.
Filmfare Awards now. Google failed us. So Rajkummar, starting from your early days when you arrived in Mumbai with just 18 rupees in your pocket, to now a celebrated actor with numerous awards and accolades, what do you think has shaped your career trajectory?
First of all, thank you so much for having me here. It's in such an august gathering. I didn't know that I'm going to be amongst all these amazing women out here. But I think that's the reason this show is so organized, that every thing that came out was on point, on time. Otherwise, I've seen it firsthand, something or the other goes wrong. But I think it's because women are here, everything is so organized. Yeah, absolutely. So my journey started in Gurgaon. I was born and raised in Gurgaon when Gurgaon was really a small town and not this, what it has become now. Yeah. So I grew up in a joint family, and I just fell in love with movies at the age of 15, 16. So we used to have this ritual where we would watch a film or two every weekend. And I was just mesmerized with those stories, with those actors. And I decided then and there, this is what I want to do. I want to be a film actor one day. Without realizing how hard it's going to be, I just thought, this is something I want to do forever now. And of course, I worked hard for it. I started doing theater in school. Then during my graduation, I was doing theater in college, in South Campus, Delhi University. Then post-college, I would go, I joined another theater group. I would go and do theater there, do plays there. Then post my graduation, I joined FTI, Film and Television Institute of India in Pune. I studied acting there for 2.5 years, and then came to Mumbai in 2008. But those 2-3 years of looking for work, that journey is not easy. And I come from a very humble background, so money was always an issue. There were a lot of hardships. But only thing I knew was that I had this immense love for the work that I do, for my art form, that no matter what's going to happen, I'm going to be in this city, and I'm going to act for the rest of my life. That is something which would never change. No matter in front of the camera, or be it in my room with my friends doing some scene work, which I used to do for those 2-3 years when there was no work. But that would give me so much of satisfaction and happiness that I dedicated my time to something that I sincerely love. So I think that love for my work, the hard work that I put in, I used to ride my cycle from Gurgaon to Delhi, 70 kilometers up and down to do theater, a lot of times. But I think all these things, and of course, without my mother's blessings, when she was there, she had this immense faith in me that it would work out. Sometimes it happens, you call back home saying, it's been a year and a half, nothing is working out. You feel low in life sometimes. But that's where the magic of mother comes in, and her blessings, and she would tell me, don't worry, everything's gonna work out. I know how much you love your job, I know how much you love it, how passionate you are about it, and it will work out. Just be at it, just be sincere, be focused, be kind towards others, and things will work out wonderfully.
So it is the focus that you say is what shapes your trajectory.
Absolutely.
The way it
I
is
think,
today.
yeah, because Mumbai is a city, or whenever you go out to a new place, it gives you a lot of freedom because there's nobody to question you. You're not answerable to anyone, so you can choose that freedom the way you want to choose it. In my case, I was very focused. I always knew why I came to the city. I came to the city because I wanted to act in movies. I wanted to be an actor. I was not chasing fame, or I was not chasing money. All I was chasing was to find that good work, that first job that I might get. And I think that discipline, that focus is something which made me who I am today.
Taking off from what you said, actually, I've always been very curious. Can acting be taught? So which are the parts of acting that can be taught, and which ones are innate?
It can be taught, as in like you always, like I had some wonderful teachers in my film school, and it can be taught in a way they're always there to guide you. You know, of course, it all comes from within. It's your personal journey, your personal emotion, experiences that you're using in scenes initially. But somebody is always there to guide you, to tell you if the path that you're taking is right or wrong. But acting can certainly be learned by watching, by having that experience in life, by living your life, by traveling. There's so many things, and I think every day can just teach you something new about acting, like meeting you or being here today would give me some experience that I might be able to use later in one of my films. So it can definitely be learned, but yes, if it can be taught, that's a debate that has been going on for years. But yeah, I think it always helps when somebody's who's way more experienced than you, who's there in front of you to tell you which way to take.
In both, you portrayed a leader who's no more. But when it comes to Srikanth, you're portraying a current persona. So how is the prep different in both cases? And how long do you take to internalize the character, his mannerisms, his quirks and traits, even his thought process maybe? So how does this happen?
No, it takes some time. Like in Netaji's case, of course, he's not there. So all my reference was Google, YouTube, like his images, his speeches, his voice. I visited his house in Kolkata. So whatever I could do, read his books, how much ever I could got to know about him, I did that. But in Srikanth's case, though Srikanth is there, so I spent a lot of time with him. And his journey is so fascinating, the kind of achievements he has at such a young age, it doesn't happen with everyone. And him being visually impaired makes it even more tougher for him. But he's somebody who would never let go. You know, he's a courageous man. He's somebody who's done everything on his own, saw this big dream and made that dream into a reality. He's a very inspirational figure for me. So when I started meeting him, because I was portraying his life on screen, so it was important to spend time with him. And I spent hours with him to get to know him inside out. Like how, apart, of course, there were these physical traits that I wanted to know and capture him on tape and watch those videos again and again to get the mannerisms right. But apart from that, for me, the internal journey was also very important. You know, how was he feeling at that point of time, what we have shown in the film? What were his troubles? What were his difficulties? How he faced them? What was his relationship with his then girlfriend, now wife, with his friends? How was his experience in America? So many things I wanted to know. I was like this curious kid who just wanted to know everything about, his life. And he was very open. He was very kind. He opened his life for me. And all those things really helped me in portraying his life on screen.
So generally they say that the prep is longer than the actual product. So was that the case with you also?
No, certainly the prep was definitely longer. The prep started with the first draft of the script that I read. And then we worked on the script for months. It almost took a year for us to write it again. And then meeting Srikanth. And before Srikanth, I started visiting blind schools because I had no experience, I had no reference to, how to play a visually impaired character. But meeting them actually it was kind of an eye-opener for me. Because before that, it was so conditioned, like most of us are so conditioned that whenever you see a person with disability, there's a sympathy that comes out from within you, which is so human, it happens. But when I met them, I was like, and we call them physically disabled, but I realized how able they are. They're so self-sufficient, they were doing everything on their own. So they don't need our pity or our sympathy. All they need is equal opportunities. All they need is that one chance, that inclusivity, that they're working towards that. And I'm so hopeful that after Srikanth, that would change and people would realize that they're not here to asking you for money or for help. They want opportunities. They want jobs. They want equality in the society.
Absolutely, absolutely. Rajkummar, you are successfully straddling both the worlds of what we call offbeat cinema and also mainstream cinema. So what kind of project really gets your creative juices flowing? Which is the one you would say, yay, this is it?
No, certainly. Of course, I do all kinds of films. I don't want to put myself in a bracket that, Raj does only certain kind of films. But my personal favorite would always be dramas. Films like Srikanth or Newton or Badhai Do. But then I also enjoy doing comedies. Like I love doing Stree. We made Stree Part 2 just now, which will be releasing in August. I love doing Bareli Ki Barfi or Ludo. That's also fun to sometimes just fun to not think too much and just have fun with your scenes and with your actors, other actors. And it's all about, films like Stree and Bareilly are like about having fun within the scene. And it's not mentally so tough like how a Srikanth or a Trapped or Newton would be. But I enjoy doing everything, to be honest.
So which is the kind of genre that will push you out of your comfort zone?
Oh, Srikanth, for sure. Srikanth, playing Netaji, doing Shahid, doing Newton, doing Trapped, the climax of Badhai Do, the whole terrace scene with my mother. These are the things which would push me out of my comfort zone, which would, I would get scared before signing these films because I won't know how would I do them. But I like things which are challenging. I like things which scare me, because then only I think you push yourself and you want to do something which is not your daily routine.
Having worked with both first-time directors and seasoned filmmakers, how does your approach change when you're working with them? And how much of a director's actor are you?
Well, filmmaking is a director's medium. We all are there just to follow his or her vision. It's only a director's job to make a film. We just do our separate jobs together, but he's the one who, or she's the one who is just supervising everything. Everybody just following his or her vision for screen. For me, if it's a first-time director, of course, I would love to spend time with my director, because I want to know what kind of cinema he loves, or she loves. Like if we are on the same page, if we are like-minded people, because it gets sometimes tough if you are seeing a film in a certain way and the other person is not seeing in that film with the same perspective. It can get tough on set. So it's better to just spend time, hang out with him, and figure out that, I hope we both are seeing the same film and there won't be any trouble on set. But with seasoned filmmakers, of course, you have seen their work, so you trust them because they have proven it time and again.
So which was the toughest film to date for you? Of course, you said Srikanth, but barring that, if you had to pick one more, and why?
Toughest film, couple of them, I would say, for different reasons. Srikanth being one of them because of, I've never played a visually impaired character before, and we don't really make too many films about, visually impaired characters. And to bring in something new in playing Srikanth was a challenge. So this was really tough. Just to be Srikanth on set throughout the process, just to refuse to see anything. I would be him throughout the process. That was also exciting. That is something which I live for that magic to happen. But also, of course, it can get troublesome after a point. But we live for that. We live for that pain. Apart from that, tough one would be, I would say, Newton was pretty tough because it was such a mundane character, a guy who's sincere, who just wants to do his job perfectly. What new would you bring to that character? So that becomes challenging. Omerta, because of its, it's about a militant, so it's not easy. It's very dark. It's a very dark space that I had to go in. Shahid, City Lights. So there have been some really tough films. Yeah, that's the reason in between you do a Stree or a Bareilly, or Ludo.
So what was your experience shooting for Trapped? Were you really alone in that place?
I wanted to.
Was it like a prep for you?
So Trapped is about this one boy who's stuck in an apartment where there's no food, water, electricity, and it's a functional building. It's just me in the whole film at like 95% of the time. I wanted to stay there alone, all alone, but my production team thought it would be very risky for them, and they didn't want to take that risk. But then I thought, if not this, then if my character Shaurya has no food to eat, then how can I go back home, eat, and come back and act like I haven't eaten? Because I also wanted to show the weight loss, in that process, right, which Shaurya must have gone through in the process.
That's what made me think maybe you really lived there. And
yeah, I stopped eating. I didn't really. I was surviving on a carrot and a cup of black coffee for almost 14, 15 days. It was, of course, very tiring, physically, very, very tiring. But then when people are still talking about the film after 8 years, so you feel like it must be worth it.
Has it been 8 years, really?
Yeah, 7 years, yeah, 2017.
So how many of you have watched Trapped?
See, all intelligent women. All the boys would say, "Shaadi mein zarur aana."
If you had to choose one of your own films to watch on loop forever, which would it be?
One of my own films to watch forever?
Like DDLJ has been playing forever, right?
Yeah. I think it's 3 only, I guess. Yeah, yeah. Look, it's such a unique film. It was so fresh. The concept was so fresh. Horror comedy, and then the messaging. You know, the underlying messaging about it talks about women empowerment
Yes.
so strongly, and Bicky Pleage became so like popular here.
So the last scene, it promised a sequel, right?
Well, yeah, we just finished filming. Yeah, it will be out in August.
Oh, wow. We didn't know that, did we? We want a special screening of that.
Sure, yeah.
So many of your roles embody this fun element that we've been talking about, and on the balance, drive home a social message too. So how do you strike that fine balance between making people laugh and wanting to deliver a powerful message? And do you want to deliver a powerful message through every film of yours? Because most of them seem like that. At the end of the day, like you said, even for Sri, where we were laughing, where we were rolling, in our seats, what do they call? LOL, laughing out loud. Still, at the end of it, like you said, it was so much about women's empowerment. So we have seen that you have picked roles like that over the years. So is it a conscious decision on your part? Or do filmmakers think that this is what you will do well and they approach you?
No, I'm sure they don't think it like that. They think about the script when they're writing it. But for me, I think I get attracted towards such stories because I feel cinema is also somewhere, it's also, if it can bring in some change in the society, then why not? If through my work I can touch someone's life and bring in some good change in his or her life, then why not? Like Badhai-Do did that for us. Badhai-Do is such a special film. Like I got so many messages and calls after Badhai-Do because there are a lot of people still out there who are scared of coming out from their closet because of societal family pressure. But Badhai-Do gave them that courage. I've got messages like, a guy who didn't come out in front of his family, took his mother to watch the film, and he sent me this long paragraph. And he said, I took my mother to watch the film, and we both were watching the film together. Of course, the end scene when Shardul comes out in front of the family, he goes to the terrace, cries in front of his mother, the mother hugs him, she accepts him, she understands what he's going through, the pain, the loneliness. And he said the film got over, we both were crying, and I just hugged her and I told her what my sexuality is. And his mother just smiled and gave him a big hug, and she said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I know you were scared. I wish I would be that mom that you could have told me this earlier. So I think Badhai-Do cinema has that power, that it can bring in some change in the society. So whenever a script like that comes my way, I get excited that, there's this entertaining film, a light-hearted film, but it can also do something within the society. Then why not? Let's go ahead and do that. But of course, saying that also, it's not important that every film would have a message. Some films might not have a message, but that's also fine. That's just for pure entertainment.
So what's the reception back home like? Because you said you grew up in a joint family and a humble family. So how do they take your stardom?
Nothing, they still treat me like this Lukha. Yeah. They don't give a damn. For them, I'm still the same boy, and I like it. I've told them, please, if I come back home, I want to come back home, to my own home, my own house. I don't want to be treated like anybody else. So they don't give a damn. They're like, whatever. Which I love. I think that's why they're family, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. So can you give us a message for all of us here? You're seeing all our empowered ladies here. A fun message with an underlying element of strength.
I wish I was a script writer. Oh. A fun message with an underlying messaging. I think that I did that already in the beginning. The way it's been so organized, so well planned, it's only because you guys are out here. Yeah, I can only see one man sitting there who's like so disinterested, but yeah.
No, but he's the one.
But I've been saying it in all my interviews since forever because I've seen, I genuinely believe that women are way more powerful than men. And I'm not talking about physical strength. I think emotionally, the way they can handle things, the way they can handle situations, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And it's high time that we start recognizing the hard work that our mothers, who are homemakers, have put in raising us. Now that I'm married, I see I have a family, I have to run the house. Now you realize how tough it is. But you know, so many mothers out there, women out there who are just homemakers, and their hard work just goes unnoticed. So I wish all of us, you know, who are listening, even not here otherwise, would watch it later, would go back home and give a hug to their mother and say, thank you. Thank you for doing this, because if you wouldn't have done this, nothing would have happened.
And we have Mother's Day this month, so all the more reason to celebrate. I think I've asked enough questions for the day, and I can see there are very many eager hands will go up now. So if Rashi can come and do the Q&A for us.
Thank you for such an inspiring session, Mr. Rao. You are an epitome of versatility, intellect, comedy, and everything in the middle. The floor is now open to the audience for interaction with our guest speaker. I request everyone, though, to keep their questions short and pertinent, and to limit them to one per person. You can raise your hands, and members of our events team will reach out to you.
It was great listening to you, Mr. Rajkummar Rao, and thank you for gracing FLO Hyderabad. We look forward.
Thank you.
We'll remember this meeting for a long time. The title here says, "The Sun Within Me." How does this relate to you? I've been looking at that, and I've been looking at you. And I look at that, and I've been hearing you. So can you please let us know how the sun within me relates to you, or
Totally.
identifies with you?
Anything that you do in life, the fire has to be, and sun is we relate that to fire as well. I think you have to keep that fire alive in whatever you do in life. If I feel like now people think I'm this good actor and I know my job, I can do this so easily, I think that would be the day I would just start going down. So I have to keep that fire, that hunger alive within me, that I have to still push myself as an actor. I have to grow with every film. There's so much more to explore out there, in acting, in cinema. So I think the sun within me will always be there to just push me to do better.
Thank you.
I'll try to put my question in a very short way. We all need a picture with you. That's my question.
Oh, you all need a picture?
Yes.
So that's how many, 130 pictures?
Group picture. So all wanted.
Sure, I think I'm sure you guys have organized that also, like how we can stand in a group and I would just come and we'll pick it.
After the question
So you're
answers.
saying yes?
Yeah. She wants you to commit.
We have a question from Ms.
Yeah.
Kamini.
Sir, any OTT on the way?
Sorry, I can't.
Serials.
Oh,
I'm here.
yeah.
Yeah. Any OTT serial or any presence on OTT?
I did one last year called Guns and Gulabs for Netflix. It's a series. Had a lot of fun, but as of now, nothing in pipeline for a while. I have my another film releasing after Srikanth called Mr. and Mrs. Mahi on 31st May about a beautiful relationship story about husband and wife, which I'm sure every couple and husband and wife would relate to. But OTT, no, nothing as of now.
We still remember you from Queen. So how was it taking the back seat in one movie and just let the female actor, shine throughout?
So I was offered the part, and I knew it's a smaller part, but I also knew it's a very important part. And I hated when I read the part. I hated Vijay. I hate such guys. So I thought, I'm not that guy in life. So it will be fun to explore a different side of me on screen, and that's the reason I did that. And also, I was very sure that it would be a beautiful film because I loved the story. And Kangana is such a phenomenal actor. She did the magic and just sailed through so well.
Yes, congratulations, you're a versatile actor and you let the ladies lead in the movies and you're okay with that. So that's a change in the trend of, the way the Bollywood movies. So what about the Hollywood plans now? We want you there.
Take me.
Seriously, you haven't been getting offers.
If you know someone there, if you have...
So we have manifested for you. So
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It will work out, I'm very sure. Yeah.
Hi Rajkumar. It's lovely hearing you and thank you for entertaining us for so many years.
Thank you.
Love watching your films. So I saw your wedding video with Patralekha, and the moment which stood out for me was you asked her to put sindoor in your forehead as well. So and I've heard many interviews where you've always, put her forward as well. So in a largely patriarchal society, I want to understand how have you developed these ideas, and where you truly embody, being a champion for equal rights for men and women. It's really amazing, and I really admire that about you.
Thank you so much. I think it's in my DNA somehow, because I saw my mother, she was a fighter. I saw her fighting in different circumstances in a way, like, those battling the pressure, letting her kids be, doing everything possible for us. I saw her struggling. So I think that the respect for women just started growing from there. And then I saw, of course, in my society, I saw different women like that. I think that's the reason now it just comes very naturally to me. I don't really put any extra effort for that. Even in films, I try to not do things which can hamper somebody's mind. Like if there would be a nameplate, if there's a scene where I'm entering my house, if there's a nameplate outside, sometimes, our director would just put my character's name, like the male name. And I've done that. I've stopped the shoot and I've told my art director, you know what, just put my wife's name as well. It's her house as well. It's not only the guy's house. Because I think these small things we need to do just to, maybe somebody out there might notice it and say, oh, it's a good idea, maybe I should also do that. And again, that Tum Bhi Meri Maang Mein Laga Do came very naturally to me. Because I thought, why only a girl should get everything, Mangal Sutra bhi usi ko pehnao, Mehndi bhi usi ko lagao, Maang bhi wahi bharegi. I said, why? Tum bhi lagao.
Hi, this is Ritu here.
Hi.
Hi. So I just wanted to know, Rajkummar, so there's a considerable change that has come into your life after changing your name spelling numerologically, because you have numerically changed the name of your name, basically. Rajkummar is M-A-R, and I myself is a numerologist, so I'm asking you that way.
No, it's very simple. I used to, my credits were always Rajkummar in all my films. Even my passport had just Rajkummar for some reason. And I thought it might get confusing because there's so many Rajkumars in the industry, Rajkummar Hirani sir, Rajkummar Gupta, Rajkummar Santoshi. So I needed, and Rao is a title given to Yadavs in Haryana. I come from Haryana. So I thought Rao sound goes well with Rajkummar. So Rajkummar Rao, I put it. And then somebody loved one, suggested that I should maybe consult a neurologist. And I won't say I'm just a blind believer, but I believe in energies. So I won't give all the credit to just that extra M for sure. I'll give credit to my hard work also somewhere. Otherwise, every film would have been a success, if that's the case. But yeah, it happened that way, that when that happened, things started changing. But yeah, again, I would say I won't strongly just say this is the only thing that is responsible, because sometimes it doesn't work out every time. But now it's attached to my name. But I slept over it over a night, thinking whether I should or whether I should not, because once it's stuck, it just stuck forever, and now it's there.
Yeah, I would.
But now I see it as this extra M is for my mother, so that's how I see it now.
Yeah, whichever way you see, there are energies and they really work. And
we have time for one last question,
I suppose,
please.
yes.
One last question. I think we're done. May I now request Senior Vice Chairperson Pratibha Kunda to deliver her vote of thanks.
Hello everyone. On behalf of FLO, I extend our sincere gratitude to Mr. Rajkummar for gracing us with his presence. It's a privilege to be in midst of such inspiring personalities. Mr. Rajkummar Rao's journey from humble beginnings to becoming a versatile and accomplished actor is truly inspiring. He's a self-made actor who proved that with hard work and talent, one can definitely achieve success. For any actor, success is when people remember the actor by his character and connect with his emotions of joy and sorrow and forever remember their stories. He has never been a stereotyped actor and has charmed everyone with his portrayals in different genres. Thank you for the countless characters you brought to life and for reminding us the power of storytelling. We eagerly await to see your captivating performance on your next movie, Srikanth, and wish you good luck. Mr. Srikanth, who had to leave, so his story has moved one and all. We are so mesmerized by his personality, and his words will resonate with us. The three things we have noted from his life journey are, firstly, see every challenge in your life as an opportunity and not mere a hurdle. Make your weakness your strength, dream big and go for it. He has shown us that true vision comes from within and nothing can stop you when you put your heart at something. He inspired us with his boundless spirit and optimism. Thank you once again, Mr. Rao and Mr. Srikanth, for sharing your time, wisdom, and insights with us today. We wish you continued success to achieve your dreams. And like Mr. Nutan Kumar from Newton, I think this dialogue you can definitely say, "Jab tak kuch nahi badloge na dost, kuch nahi badlega." Ye to I think you can tell in your own style. We thank our sponsors for believing in us and supporting us in our endeavors. Platinum sponsor Tira, Initiative sponsor McLean, Gold sponsor Oro Jewels, Silver sponsor Krishna Jewelers, Gifting partner Hemis. I thank past chairs for always supporting the organization and being the strength behind all our initiatives. The events team who worked tirelessly to make sure the event goes smoothly. And thank you all members here for being here and made the session such a success. Please join us for high tea.
Thank you so much again, once again. So now I think I'll just come to every table, and we have a photographer here. I'll just stand behind and we'll very calmly, nicely, peacefully do this exercise. Thank you. Please don't ask for selfies. I'm sure he's your own guy, right? Yeah, so आप सबको दे देना, please, photos.